since 2003. This is the Sports Source, East Tennessee's #1 sports talk show.
Presented by Pipe Wrench, and by Junk Be Gone, and by the Garza Law Firm.
With your host, John Pennington. The Sports Source starts now.
Good Sunday morning and welcome into the Sports Source here at the Junk Be Gone Studios. We appreciate you joining us today. We have a full show for you. We got a lot of people on the panel, but also Josh Heupel is going to be doing a press conference as soon as their second scrimmage wraps up, so hopefully we'll be able to bring you that one live. That's the plan. We'll talk a lot about Tennessee's defense. What do the numbers show us? If we go back and look over 4 years of Josh Heupel, what his offense does to his defense, is it what we expected? Is it everything we talked about before he arrived? Now we have more numbers to look at, so we'll digest that one. We'll also talk about who's calling plays for Tennessee. They claim Alex Golesh, the offensive coordinator, called the plays last year. Everyone thought it was Josh Heupel. Who really called them? Much to get into this week. Let's start. First segment of our program brought to you by our friends at Paper Be Gone. Folks, we all have to be careful these days. Identity theft, online spies, bots, you name it. Yes, we all need to get rid of documents safely. Paper Be Gone is who to call. They shred documents for your home or business. They can safely destroy x-rays for you doctor's offices out there watching. They can even destroy hard drives. If you want, you always, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, they should call Paper Be Gone and have their hard drives and everything destroyed. Paper Be Gone does a great job. I've trusted them for years, Mike Such and his team, with Junk Be Gone. Now they've done so much business with Paper Be Gone, they split it off into its own company, and they just are fantastic. Give them a shout, paperbegone.com, to learn more. All right, let's welcome in our panel as we zip through this first segment here. A new member. Glad to have WATE 6 Sports Director Tim Owens with us. Tim, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right here we got from 99.1 The Sports Animal, 99.1 The Sports Animal, we have Vince Ferrara. Vince, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Chuck Cavaleris, longtime sports writer. Bob Hodge, longtime sports writer. Both these guys were with me the first show, or at least the first year. First year. So you're one B today.
I stopped you for most of that first year.
That's right. You were banging on the door. Open it up. Let him in. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody being here. Tennessee has wrapped up their second scrimmage of the preseason. We're awaiting Josh Heupel, who's going to be coming out and speaking. We are planning to take that live. He's supposed to be up there at 11:10, so 10 minutes from now, which means we're timing this out. Problem is, he sometimes shows up 30 minutes early, 30 minutes late, 5 minutes early. We don't know, so we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. So this first segment's going to be a little rocky, perhaps. One place, though, people can always spot Josh Heupel's press conferences if you want to see them. Tim? It's on WATE.com. You guys stream them all, do you not?
Every single time Josh Heupel talks to the media at the podium, you could see it on WATE.com.
So they can, if you know what's coming on Twitter, you can go there and just watch it live.
Yep,
it'll be find it after the fact too.
Right, and it'll be on our Facebook page and Twitter pages as well.
Very good. Talk to me about with the season coming up. I know what you guys are doing with your. I mean, you always have the shows, the preseason shows.
Yep.
I'm sure with WATE having the Pitt game live on WATE, you're probably going to be doing some sort of pre or post game stuff there. Tell people what you're doing with your coverage this year.
Well, to start things off, September 1st at 5:30, we're going to do a 30-minute special. In that special, you'll be able to see some of Kellyanne Stitt's one-on-one sit-down with Hendon Hooker. Cool. So a lot of exclusive content coming along there, a couple feature stories and things like that, as well as kind of looking ahead at the season.
All right, good deal. And in terms of once the season gets underway, you're doing the road trip thing. You guys are on the road with the Vols.
I'll be a road warrior. I'll be at LSU. I'll be up at Pitt. The short road trips. Kellyanne and Reese will be at the South Carolina game, and with the exception of that, I'll be at every single road game.
Okay, I don't know that he's going to say it, but more than likely, WATE is going to be the only station in town that goes to every single road game. We'll see, but I think they're going to do it. You can trust these guys. Yep. Let's talk about what people are looking forward to with this season. We've got a graphic here to show you the excitement's kind of rising around football at this moment. If we can get to the graphic, I don't know if we can. There we go. All right, Vols were ranked number 28, just outside the. They were in the others getting votes, but they were third on that list. So 28th in the coaches' top 25 that came out this week. Roman Harper, you see there, of the SEC Network, he picked Tennessee to go 10-2 this year. There's just some expectations. And at the bottom, Jerry Palm of SEC Sports did his bowl projections for the year. And Chuck, he has Tennessee in the Citrus Bowl, January 2nd against Penn State. He's projecting a good year as well. Talk to me about expectations, how they're rising gloriously. And that's going to be a gag all year. Talk to me about the expectations rising, and is it too much too fast?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's almost like that Thursday night kickoff can't get here soon enough for a lot of fans, right? I mean, these are the dog days of summer. Even in high school kids, you've had all the practices, and people are ready to play. And I think Tennessee's in the same boat, right? Let's get this show on the road. Let's see what we got.
I'm thinking they are rising a little bit too quick. And I'll say something else, too. After Pruitt's second year, after you'd won the bowl game, expectations went up for the third year. But I think that was a lot more hopeful. I think these expectations feel like these are real expectations. This ain't, man, I'm hoping they can be good. Well, I think they're going to be good. I think they'll be 9-3 or 10-2. And that brings up one of the words you taught me many years ago, anticipation.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than anticipation.
And nothing worse than anticipation. So this feels like a different set of higher expectations than what it was just a couple of years ago.
Is it too much too fast, guys, or is these expectations? This is normal. This is good to have this back.
Well, it's normal to have too high of expectations, right? Especially as you get closer to the start of the season. But, excuse me, when someone national puts it out there that Tennessee might go 10-2 or beyond what most of the local people are talking about, then it's easier for fans to latch onto and say, well, why not us? When you say 10-2 and Alabama lost to a Texas A&M team that might be very similar to this year's Tennessee team. So why can't Tennessee beat a Georgia, which is what Roman Harper thought? I think it's a little strong, but look, the schedule helps people buy in because you don't have that middle of the schedule gauntlet that is known so well by Tennessee fans. I think the believability that they could win in part is because of that schedule.
I think it's pretty gauntlet-like. I mean, look at October. Alabama,
LSU,
at LSU,
and
but a lot of people
Kentucky.
But a lot of people
and Kentucky is no longer a pushover. Right. Now, I agree until Kentucky starts beating Tennessee regularly, but I think that's a pretty tough middle of your schedule.
It's not easy, but it's not 4 or 5 weeks in the middle of it. Then you have your lighter games after that, and then you're like, all right, what's left of this Tennessee team after it's week after week after week without a bye?
Tim?
I feel like the expectations are probably where they should be, to be honest. This is the first time since I've moved here 2 years ago where I'm going into the season with expectations. That first year that I was here, it was Jeremy Pruitt's final year here. I'm going, I just don't see it. Right. And fans were telling me, oh no, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. I just didn't see it. Now I kind of see it. I feel like they're going to score a lot of points, and I feel like they're going to be able to slow teams down just a little bit on defense.
And for people who don't know, you covered LSU.
Yeah.
You're a son of Ohio who's covered Ohio State.
Yep.
You've seen expectations and you've seen wild fan bases before. So this doesn't seem abnormal to you.
It's very similar down in Baton Rouge that it is here with the fan base and just how passionate they are and all of that surrounding the football team. And I just, I've seen those expectations in the fall at LSU.
Right.
I was there for the Les Miles stuff, and it just doesn't feel like that here right now. It feels like kind of Tennessee's on the rise.
All right, very good. I tell you what, we're going to catch a break in the hopes that Josh Heupel will be at the podium when we come back. Who knows? But let's tell you what's coming up in today's show. We got a lot more to come. As I said, Josh Heupel's press conference live whenever he starts speaking. Were we wrong about Heupel's D and Heupel's offense and what it would do to Heupel's defense? We'll look at some numbers and get these guys to sound off on that. Who called Tennessee's plays last year? As I mentioned earlier, was it Alex Golesh? Was it Josh Heupel, as everyone thought? We'll discuss. SEC coaches spoke out on Hendon Hooker this week. We'll tell you what they said, and is he being disrespected in any way? Does Tennessee need more pieces, or are they ready to compete right now? We'll get into that and much, much more. So when we come back, last tease of this, we'll hope he's at the podium when we come back. Josh Heupel coming up later in the show, hopefully next. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Away from home? Watch the Sports Source live at WATE.com.